about Stanley. Stanley is from Kyle, Texas. He's a community leader and a certified trainer who creates training modules and provides both web-based and instructor-based training to local and regional health department staff across the state of Texas. He also trains central office staff on security and protection of health information. A long-time dedicated Toastmaster, Mr. C is a member of the Wimberley Hill Country Toastmasters and Texas State Talkers, where he's held leadership positions with the Toastmaster organizations at local, district, and regional levels. He has attained his DTM, as I mentioned earlier, which is the highest educational designation that you can achieve in Toastmasters. In his leadership roles with Toastmasters, Stanley has chaired committees to produce a district conference and a Toastmasters International Convention, district realignment and procedures, and served in leadership positions at the district, state, and local club level in education, training, marketing, public relations, and administration. As our region advisor, Stan supports the district in Region 3 with district operations such as district success planning, identifying marketing strengths and needs of the district, developing and mentoring future district leaders, and facilitating district leaders in trainings held at the International Convention and at mid-year. He serves as a vital link between district and world headquarters. Stan says people who do not join Toastmasters because they are content with being average, they join Toastmasters because they are pursuing excellence in some areas of their lives. They know they need to work it, and Toastmasters is here to help. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Stanley Speaker.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Several months ago, I was visiting some friends in Arizona, Green Valley, Arizona. Anybody ever been there? Excellent. It's a small town just south of Tucson. While I was there, I found on the website that there was a Toastmasters Club. So I've been always, everywhere I go, whenever, especially when I'm visiting friends, I encourage them, of course, to check out Toastmasters. So we went to this club meeting, and they tagged along with me. And two of the speakers, it was a fairly dynamic club. They had young members there who had just joined, as well as more experienced Toastmasters. And at this particular meeting, the area governor was also doing his area governor visit. The first gentleman that stood up to speak was a 19-year-old Hispanic. Spoke very poor English. And as he started talking, he was giving his first speech, which we know as the icebreaker. And he was sharing that his parents, both migrant workers, barely could able to speak English, couldn't read at all. The highest education level they had achieved was maybe the 5th or 6th grade. All he knew was basically working on the farm. And he was joining Toastmasters to want to improve his English speaking skills because he knew that it was going to be important to become better educated. He wanted to make his parents proud. He wanted to be the first in his family to achieve a college degree. And he wanted to get to the point where he could provide his parents a better home and a better place to live. And that they, because of their backs and everything else from working on the farm, was really affecting them. Needless to say, by the time he was done, the room was silent. Everybody was, wow, what a story. The second gentleman that stood up was an older gentleman. And he shared that he used to live in Oregon. And when he was in Oregon, he was involved in real estate. His real estate practice was somewhat okay. It was stable, but not the best income at the time. And he came across this idea, well, what if he used a helicopter, or he found someone with a small plane, and he flew over properties, and they took pictures, and then he would use that and say, is this your property? And apparently the idea took off fairly well. because other realtors started asking him, well, what did you do? And they started asking him to do the same for some of their properties. And it became quite successful. It grew and grew and grew. And eventually, for some reason, he chose to expand his business and eventually moved to Chicago, Illinois. And again, he continued his business and it continued to grow, and eventually he sold it out. And when he sold it out, he ended up being a multimillionaire. And being from the north, he was getting tired of the northern winters. And if you're from New York right now, I'm sure you're glad you're not in New York right now. So he moved to Tucson. He's a snowbird, and he chose to retire in Tucson. Now, he said in part of his story that most people, because he was quite wealthy and had done quite well in the real estate business, would say that he was successful. Now, the one thing I haven't told you yet, that during his speech, it was clear that he had a speech impediment. He was a stutterer. And he said throughout his whole life, and he looked at the 19-year-old, he said that he too had the opportunity when he was younger to join Toastmasters, and he never did. He said that was one of his biggest regrets in life, that he didn't join Toastmasters when he was at an early age. Because in all of his presentations in real estate, in all the times that he had the opportunity to talk to people, he always made sure that he had somebody at his side that would speak in his behalf. He was ashamed of his speech impediment. He was embarrassed. He was afraid that if people learned that he had a speech impediment, that it would impact his ability to convince them and to persuade them to take on his product, what he had to offer. Here he was, this was his second speech. 82 years old. 82 years old, and he joined Toastmasters. Whether you're too young or whether you're old, it really makes no difference how old you are. You can find something that will benefit you by joining Toastmasters. No matter if you're choosing to be a leader, whether just improve your speaking skills, maybe to try to work through your speech impediment, you can find help in Toastmasters. So those are his stories. Those were their stories. What is yours? I gave each of you, I think you should all have a note card. What I would like you to do for the next 3 to 4 minutes is find somebody that you don't know that well or don't know at all. Find someone that you really don't know that well or don't know at all, and over the next 4 minutes, using your note card, have a conversation with them. I want you to find out their name. I want to find out what their career, if they're retired, what they were doing before. And I want you to find out that something that you have, one thing that you have in common between the two of you. So their name, what they did for as a career, and one thing between the two of you that you have in common. So go ahead and find someone very quick and take a few minutes and have this conversation.
How much time do you want me doing? Yeah. Hi, I'm Danielle. They're going to take you. My name is Vicki, and I can't move because I'm retired, so you get a left person to talk to.
And I got a little bit